Coming up on SportsCenter, the year was 1948. Northwestern was headed to Pasadena for the first time. Would Cinderella strike again? By George! In 1948, Doak Walker won the Heisman. Would Danny Warfel boost his chances and boot the Noles? George Mikan won a title and a scoring crown with the Minneapolis Lakers. Last year's MVP drops anchor at the clip joint, while the Los Angeles Lakers look to stay above 500. The Warriors used to play in Philly. They still do, once a year. Back in 48, they went to hockey games by sled. The former Nordiques took an easier route to their old province, sort of. Super Mario aims for the honor Sid Abel won, MVP. Adolph Rupp in Kentucky ran past all competition. Could the Jayhawks outrun the running Utes? We'll shed light on this and more. SportsCenter 1995 next.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to SportsCenter. I'm Larry Beal, along with Stuart Scott.
Ahead on this show, one putt or chip can put $100 grand in your pocket. One ball in the face of a ref, even a replacement ref, can get you booted. But first, one loss could mean disaster.
Exactly, if you're fighting for the national title. As Ohio State squared off against Michigan on Saturday, the 11-0 Buckeyes had two trips on their mind. A victory would give them a trip to the Rose Bowl, and a big game by one Eddie George might send him to New York for the Heisman Trophy Award. But as many teams in the past have learned, a journey into Ann Arbor can often be a bad trip. Buckeyes trying to go 12-0, first time in team history. Eddie George is fired up. First quarter, it's the other back, Tim Biakabatuka, stealing the show, breaking 3-4 tackles there. The foot race is on down the sideline, 44 yards to the Ohio State 7. 2 plays later, Michigan would score. It's 7-3. Second quarter, Brian Greasy throwing to Mercury Hayes. One-handed try was picked off by Sean Springs, Ron Springs' son. Gorgeous play as he ripped it out. 10-9 Michigan at the half. Third quarter, Ohio State down 17-9. Eddie George by George up and over. Ohio State fails on the two-point try. They're down 17-15. George would break the OSU single-season rushing record held by Keith Byers. Fourth quarter, Clarence Williams scores from 8 yards out, 24-15. Michigan. And then Biakabatuka, who said he couldn't believe how big the holes were, dives through 31-15 Michigan. Biakabatuka, 37 carries, 313 yards. They're loving it at Northwestern. But Ohio State isn't dead yet. Bobby Hoying, Buster Tillman, two-point conversion. Buckeyes down 31-23. 4th and 10, just over a minute left. Hoying picked off by Charles Woodson as Michigan wins at 31-23. Northwestern feeling rather rosy. The Buckeyes can forget about the national title. John Cooper dropping to 1-6-1 against Michigan. Just like in '93, the Buckeyes lose their Rose Bowl bid in the Big House. Eddie George, 104 yards and a touchdown. Northwestern will go to Pasadena. Ohio State will have to settle for a trip to the Citrus Bowl, and the Wildcats just wild over roses.
Two things that I'm really happy about. One is I'm very happy for Larry Curry. And the second thing is we came here and made a promise one day that we'd take the purple to Pasadena, and we're going.
We had a dream season going. We had a 12-0 season going, maybe 13-0, maybe national championship. We didn't come out and get the job done. We didn't tackle. We didn't do what it takes to win the game, big games.
Surprised we didn't play any better than we did. I'm surprised that we got beat up front, and obviously I'm surprised that Biakabatuka had as much success running the football against us as he did.
Biakabatuka posts the 6th best rushing day in Big Ten history, just a yard behind Eddie George's mark set 2 weeks ago. Timmy B has run for 1,724 yards this season, breaking the school record set by Jamie Morris in 1987. We'll have more reaction from Northwestern later in the show. Stu?
The number 3 undefeated Florida Gators didn't need the bitter-tasting memory of a year ago when they led FSU 31-3 in the fourth quarter, only to allow the Seminoles to come back to tie them 31-31. They didn't need the acid reminder of a New Year's Day rematch in the Sugar Bowl where they got drummed 23-17. I mean, after all, these were the hated cross-state 6th-ranked Noles, a team coach Steve Spurrier was 1-4-1 against from Gainesville. Down 3-zip. Danny Warfel coolly, calmly goes to work. 23 yards to Jaquez Green. Green takes a lick and still does his trick. 7-3 Gators. 14-6 in the second. FSU would blitz. Mistake. Big mistake. Warfel hits Ike Hilliard right where the linebackers used to be. Ike, without Tina, turns a short toss into a big 42-yard touchdown. 21-6 Gators. Same score in the second. Warfel just getting silly with the air show. Chris Doring beats 2 DBs in the corner. His team leading 16th touchdown catch of the year. 28-6. Florida up at the break. But could FSU repeat last year's comeback magic? Third quarter, 28-6. Break me off a little something, Ward. Ward Dunn, the only 2-time 1,000-yard rusher in Knoll history, adds 30 more. 3 plays later, it is a done deal. 3 yards, bang it in. FSU converts for 2. It's 28-14. Gators answer. First play of the ensuing possession. Warfel with the radar lock on Ike Hilliard. 2,736 inches, 228 feet, 76 yards. Paid it. 35-14 Florida. Warfel over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. FSU gets a break, though. Florida punting. The snap goes over Robbie Stevenson's head. FSU takes over at the Gator 8. They cash in on the first play. Danny Cannell to a back of the end zone moving. Tightrope walking. Andre Cooper, 35-24. FSU down 11. Fourth quarter, same score. Cannell looking deep for Cooper. Cooper, his favorite receiver, usually sure-handed. Not this time. Goes through his hands. Picked off by Anton Lott, looking like Ronnie Lott in the end zone. 3 interceptions by Cannell in the fourth. Florida takes it 35-24. Beat Arkansas in next week's SEC title game, and the Gators will play Nebraska for the national title in the Fiesta Bowl. The Gators hold FSU to a season low in points and only 322 total yards. FSU's last 4 possessions ended like this: punt and 3 straight interceptions.
We got no darn excuses. They just beat the fire out of us today.
So when I ask you why Danny Cannell got rattled, how do you respond?
Well, he just, you know, I equate quarterbacks to baseball pitchers. They throw a no-hitter one day, the next day can't find the plate.
We had our rocky times. We had our rocky road. But, baby, hey, if you ain't a Gator, you Gator bait, baby. You don't know it, it's all good.
The biggest thing is right now we're 11-0, and that's the biggest thing in the world, and we're excited to be where we're at. All our goals are in front of us. One day when we look back, all the individual goals will mean a lot, and sure, it'd be exciting to be a part of that. But for right now, we're 11-0. That's what matters.
Does a nice job of holding that microphone TV-like. With his 4-touchdown day, Warfel plants himself firmly in the Heisman race with Eddie George and Tommy Frazier, both of whom had average days by their own standards this weekend. Frazier, 12 of 25 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception on Friday. For the season, Frazier had a career-best 17 touchdown passes. George breaks Keith Byers' Buckeye single-season rushing mark, and Warfel sets a new SEC standard with 64% of his passes complete and 33 touchdown strikes. Vanderbilt hasn't won at Tennessee since 1975. First possession, Vandy, 3rd and 2 at the Vols 12. Davian Allen, play fake pass to Fred Baker, wide open, easy pickings to pay dirt. Careful, Fred, no celebrating. 7-0 Vandy. Second quarter, Tennessee, 1st and goal at the 1. Chester Ford, it's short, it's ugly, but it counts for 6 like all the others. I said 6, not 7, because the extra point attempt rejected by James Manley. Philip Fulmer, not a happy guy. 7-6 Vandy at recess. Tennessee plagued by penalties all game. Third quarter, 2nd and 10. Jay Graham runs for the first down. Nice run. Sorry, cuz. Bring it back. Holding against Tennessee, they had 11 penalties, 121 yards. Fourth quarter, still 7-6 Tennessee finally. Jay Graham under the bludgeonings of Chance. My head is bloody but unbowed. I figured the poem Invictus works well with that effort. 2-point conversion made it 12-7. Tennessee would go on after whipping the Vols after whipping Vandy 65-0 and 62-14 the last 2 years and being favored by 37. Tennessee's 12-7 win prompted their coach to utter, "The bottom line is I'd rather play poorly and win than play well and lose." The lone bright note, Manning set school season records, completions 244, attempts 380, and yards 2,954. Larry?
To the NBA now, and there are certain things in life that are just guaranteed, like when you're waiting in one line for the cashier, the other line always moves faster, nothing you can do about it. And the Clippers, well, they'll always be in last place, nothing you can do about it. Except something's wrong. This year the Clippers are winning, just a game out of first place in the Pacific Division. Maybe you should go to the other line. Clippers hosting the Spurs, and David Robinson rejecting Loivant, and the Admiral isn't finished. Malik Sealy, he's not done. I said, get your weak stuff out of there. Vinny Del Negro on fire, hangs and hits. Vinny had 21. Second half, the Spurs leading by a dozen. Sean Elliott goes baseline, elevates, flips it up, flips it in. Then David going to work. This is called the exclamation point. I sense trouble with authority in a huge way as the Spurs win over the Clips 191. The Spurs 10 3-pointers in the first half, tying an NBA record. 11 threes in the game, ties the Spurs franchise mark. Robinson scored 17 of his 20 in the second half. The Spurs have defeated the Clips in 20 of their last 25 meetings. Jazz and Nuggets, late fourth quarter. Denver down by a point. Not anymore. Dale Ellis hits the triple. 84-82 Nuggets. Under a minute remaining. Jazz down one. Karl Malone, get your weak stuff out of here, says Jumbo Mutombo. Malone gets it, can't hit, but right there is Chris Morris. Utah by a point. Final seconds. Mutombo fouled by Jeff Hornacek. Mutombo makes both free throws. Denver by a point. John Stockton to Malone for the win. Final seconds. No! Denver thinks they've got it won, but 2 free throws later, it's a 3-point game. 1.8 left. Hornacek from midcourt to tie. Ooh, in and out. Denver with the upset. 94-91. Dale Ellis leading the Nuggets with 22. Denver's won 3 in a row. The mailman, 28 points, 12 boards. After losing to Michael and the Bulls on Friday, the Jazz fall for the second straight night. Lakers and Suns, and Del Harris, this one's in the bag. Lakers cruising. Vlade Divac said Ceballos, and the Lakers up 16 in the fourth quarter.
This game's over. It's in the refrigerator. The door's closed. The lights are out. The eggs are cool, and the butter's getting hard, and my knees ain't jiggling. Ooh, knees too.
Chick's butter's about to melt. Kevin Johnson hits the 3. Then the rookie, Michael Finley, from way out. Suns are down by 4. 30 seconds left. Fred Roberts the miss. Scramble for the rebound. Tipped out to KJ. Suns want to run. Got to check Charles. Spots up. Stops, pops. Suns are down by 1. 113-112. Under 20 seconds to play. Lakers just need to kill the clock. Just kill the clock. Just run it out. But Nick Van Exel holding the ball. Jump ball. He is tied up. Disaster with 7 seconds left. One more chance for the Suns. Got to win the jump ball. AC Green, 3 players around him. The scramble. Michael Finley for the win. Got it. Suns 114-113.
I had it in the refrigerator, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the first time I have ever missed.
Well, Michael Finley sure didn't miss. The Suns rally from a 16-point deficit in the final period to win. The Suns hero, Michael Finley, finished with 23. After the game, Finley said, college, high school, this is number 1. I'd never hit a buzzer beater to win a ball game, said Ceballos. Led the heartbroken Lakers with 34. The Lakers have lost 3 games in a row, dropping every single game by just a single point. They are 0-4 in 1-point games this year. Overall, the Lakers have a record of 6-7. Certainly, it could be a lot better. Stu?
College hoops now. Healthy competition between teammates is a good thing as long as it doesn't get out of control. Last year, Kansas guards Jared Hass and Jacques Vaughn had their own little battle. Not who would score the most points, but who would have the better grade point average. Coming into this season, Vaughn was smoking Hass. Jacques had a 3.68, Jared only a 3.6. Oh, they do play hoops as well. Number 2, Kansas, a tough opener against number 8, Utah. Second half, Kansas up by 5. Super soft Rafe LaFrance misses, but Paul Pierce says, I got you back. Kansas up 7. Jayhawks showing some nice passing. LaFrance find Hass, backdoor, Rock Me Amadeus. Kansas up by 8. Utah tries to come back down 9. Pierce dismisses a Ben Caton shot, but Keith Van Horn grabs the board and then shakes the house. Utah down 67-60, Van Horn 22. But the Jayhawks respond. Hass for 3. Can I get a witness from the congregation? Kansas goes up 12. They go on to win at 79-68. Hass had 17, with Jacques Vaughn spending most of the second half on the bench with 4 fouls. Hass had to step it up. Along with those 17, he had 4 boards and 4 assists. A supposed neutral site game at Kemper Arena. Utah coach Rick Majera said, quote, I'd like to play all my neutral site games when I'm just 30 miles from my campus. Number 12, Memphis, and number 24, Purdue. Opener for both. Purdue led early. Memphis came back. Chad Allen with the mojo. Memphis up 9 at the half. Second half, Tigers rule. Michael Wilson says, Porter Roberts, if you can't hang with a big dog, stay on the porch. On the break, Chris Garner, no. Lorenzen Wright getting his freak on. Memphis takes it 89-76. Wright had 15. Memphis takes it 91-76, excuse me. Wright had 15. Mingo Johnson went for 18. Purdue was horrific from beyond the arc, only 1 of 12 in 3-point shooting. Elsewhere, the San Juan shootout, Louisville got the win over Virginia Commonwealth, but suffered a loss as well. Freshman forward Eric Johnson out for the year after hurting his knee. Johnson was starting for Samaki Walker, who is out for 2 games due to a suspension.
Ça kick maintenant pour Québec. Ça kick. Et tire le but! Ça kick!
Oh, I love it when they speak French. That was last year when hockey fans north of the border could get all fired up over a Quebec-Montreal rivalry. Not quite the same now with the Nordiques known as the Colorado Avalanche. The Canadiens and the ex-Nordiques meeting for the first time since the move on Saturday night in Montreal. Still some Nords fans left over. Mark Recchi grabbing for the lucky stick, and it pays off. Second period. Patrice Brisebois with a shot. Recchi in front for the rebound. 1-0 Canadiens. Still in the second. Recchi dishing to Pierre Turgeon behind the net. Where is he? Where is he? It's in the net. The wraparound beating Thibault. 2-0 Canadiens. Mario Tremblay in Montreal feeling pretty good, but Colorado would strike back. Adam Deadmarsh. Andrei Kovalenko. Top shelf for the score. 2-1. Avalanche still trailing. Vincent Damphus. He's chopping wood. Ouch! Hitting Claude Lemieux right over the head with his stick. Late third, still 2-1. Sandis Ozolinsh, ex-Shark, gets free, lights the light. Beating Patrick Waugh. A 2-2 tie. And that's the way it ends in this battle between former provincial rivals. The Avalanche, they lead the West with a record of 14-4-4. They're unbeaten in their last 5 games. Sabres and Penguins, first period, no score. Marcus Naslund to Thomas Sandstrom. Shot off of Dominik Hasek, bounces in. Sandstrom 7th, 1-0 Pens. Tom Barrasso busy in the net. Buffalo, a 5-on-3 power play. Gary Galley 1 times. Barrasso the sliding save. Now watch Randy Burridge. The pass from Donald Audette. Whoops, right between his legs. Moments later, Audette in front. Barrasso the save. And Peter Allen denies Jason Daw, who had the empty net. Late first period, Derek Plant. Great job in the corner. Brings the puck out. Plant falling down. Horizontal beats Barrasso. His 4th. We're tied at 1 after 1. Second period, Dominik Hasek nonchalanting the dump in. Look out, because Glenn Murray says thank you very much. Murray's 3rd, 2-1 Penguins. And the Sabres need some work on their D. Mike Pekka leaving Mario Lemieux to follow the puck. Bad choice, because here comes Super Mario, 2-on-1 with Marcus Naslund. Hasek denies him. Late second period, 2-1 Pens. Peter Nedved 2-on-1. This time, no denying him. Nedved 7th, 3-1 game. Under a minute left in the second. Barrasso, whoops, can't clear the puck. Brad May centers off Barrasso's back into the goal. Sabres down 4-3. Third period, Naslund fakes Derek Plant, gets by, fakes, wrists it home. Naslund 7th as the Pens win at 5-3. The Penguins ending Buffalo's 5-game unbeaten streak. The Sabres would hold Super Mario to only 1 assist, but the Pens still come away with the victory. Stu?
SportsCenter just beginning to get into the zone. Still ahead. Penn State down by 3 seconds left to go against Michigan State. No timeouts. Bobby Ingram, a chance to be a hero? What, you want us to tell you now? Stick around. See how it turned out. Also on the way, smiles all around for the rookies, Joe Smith and Jerry Stackhouse before their first pro meeting. But what would happen once Stack goes in the air and it's no longer Maryland, Carolina, but Golden State, Philly? Also, will Stack and Joe's former conference foes Duke be able to upset Iowa way up north in Anchorage, the finals of the Great Alaskan Shootout? And just what seems to be stuck in the craw, Bobby Ross, we'll find out when the center rolls on.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperatures, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State. The intelligent oil for hard-working engines.
Now, take home a legend. Get an authentic autographed Superstar lithograph. A $30 value, just $7.50. See details on cases of 4x4 at your local supplier.
Here we are at the World's Do-It-Yourself Finals. Larry Snyder's up in the routing compulsories. This man's making a name for himself today. Very smooth. But can Larry and his trusty reel be tools to handle the 4x4? He takes it deep. Out of here. This kid's coming in unranked. But he's got all the tools, the power, the touch. Oh, he's in the zone now!
Beyond the window electric, down a computer-generated blacktop they ride, carrying the remains heroes of the day. They've come to the global village with software technology so bold it can restore life to the fabric of a weary society and bring a touch of comfort to a material world grown hard. They are the ones who surf the net, the whiz kids of the information superhighway.
Rematch of the 94 finals, Knicks and Rockets. Knicks debut their new home alternate road uniforms at home today. The usual navy blue with the black trim. First quarter, Akeem in the road whites. Home whites representing with a spin down low. Only in New York can Charles Oakley get a technical because he wouldn't tuck his shirt in at the foul line. Second quarter, Akeem on the bench. Ewing, a sweet drop step, gets by Mark Bryant. Fourth, Knicks up 4. Charles Smith gets bum rushed by Ori. Then Ori throws him down. You get a rejection for that. Fourth, Patrick Ewing gangsta slapping Mark Bryant. Ditto with Akeem. 4 blocks for Patrick. Late in the fourth, the dream turns nightmarish. Smacks the ref in the face with the ball. That will get you a very swift ejection. Only 9 points for Akeem. With the dream out, Ewing was all of that. Tough J over Bryant. 27 points, 11 boards, along with the 4 blocks. Knicks take it 103-88. Patrick's blocks all came in the fourth quarter. Olajuwon's 9 points snaps his string of 258 straight games with double-digit scoring. Knicks winning for the 5th time in a row. Larry?
With the first pick in last year's draft, the Warriors had a choice. They could take big man Joe Smith and fill their glaring need up front, or they could take Jerry Stackhouse and then trade Latrell Sprewell for the big man they wanted. Well, the Warriors went with Smith and got their first look at what they passed up as they faced Philly Saturday night. Warriors and Sixers in Philly first half. BJ to a cutting, hustling Joe Smith for the easy hoop. But here comes the other rookie, Jerry Stackhouse, stacked to the rack. The one thing he can do is finger roll. Then Richard Dumas out of my way on Jerome Kersey. So Richard had 20, but Tim Hardaway with the miss. Look at the wingspan on Donyell Marshall getting up and laying it back in. Warriors up at the break 54-37 second half. Sixers want to run. Greg Grant, alley-oop with authority to Dumas. Sixers close to within 2, 86-84. But turnovers would prove to be costly, and the Sixers do it like nobody else. Hardaway the steal. Joe Smith fills the lane. Give me the hammer, Big Joe. 20 Philly turnovers. Then Marshall for 3. The bank is open. Donyell, did you call that? Did you call that? 107-89 as the Warriors win it. Donyell with a season-high 24. The Sixers have lost 7 in a row. The rookie matchup, Smith had 13 points, 10 rebounds. Stack, 18 points, 9 assists. Magic and Bullets. Noted heckler Robin Ficker in a wig. Looking maybe a little bit better than he normally does there. Penny Hardaway for 3. Magic up 90-86 in the fourth. Dennis Scott adding the triple. Magic by 10. But back come the Bullets. It's Big George over John Koncak. What a matchup there. Lead cut to 4. Hardaway too much down the stretch. He can post you up like he did to Calbert Chaney. Magic by 3. The Bullets, Robert Pack. Pac-Man with a career-high 35. 108-107 Orlando. But Penny with time ticking down. Beats Chaney again off the dribble. Magic by 3. Penny with 30. Bullets after a timeout trying to inbound. 5-second violation. Calbert Chaney is in disbelief. Jimmy Lynam fit to be tied. 114-112 is the way it ends. Hardaway finishes with 30. Dennis Scott 29. Orlando's won 4 in a row. They're 11-2 without Shaq, which is pretty good. Magic 11 of 21 from three-point range. Robert Pack led everybody with 35. Stu?
Their ACC opponents called Duke fans, players, and their coach snobs. Success breeds that kind of contempt. But after a decade full of Final Fours and 2 NCAA titles, Coach K's Blue Devils were unranked going into the season for the first time since 1985. So what do? They opened the Great Alaska Shootout by thumping number 23 Indiana and could close out the tournament by whipping number 10 Iowa. Ironically, a team they knocked out of the NCAA tournament in both of their national championship runs in 91 and 92. You saw it right here on ESPN. Duke's Chris Collins, no fear, strong to the rack, doesn't mind the bump or the grind as long as he gets the bucket and the foul. Duke up 8 early. Second half, Iowa comes back. Kenyon Murray, alley-oop rim shocking to Russ Millard for the mojo. Iowa down 2. Then Iowa's Jess Settles, true with the drive at the rack. Settles is going to settle the score a little bit more. Steals the inbounds pass. Back up at the rack. Fouled. We got a 5-point highlight. Iowa up 10 with less than 6 to go. But Duke comes back if you don't believe. Oh, look at Collins can hit the long-range 3. Duke down 4, less than 3 remaining. Steve Wojciechowski, the 3. If you don't believe he can hit it, you better act somebody. Duke leads 74-71. Duke inbounding the ball. Ricky Price out of my way. Gorilla bringing it back from way down south. Price with 25. Duke takes it 88-81. Collins, 30 points. That's Doug's son. Price, 25. Russ Millard had 16. Kingsbury also had 16. But Duke, with Coach K back at the helm, they are for real again. Consolation game, UConn and Indiana. Lesson number 1 in college officiating. Do not block Bobby Knight's view, or else the general will take matters into their own hands. But read the lips. Bobby, if you touch me again, I'll toss you. That's exactly what he said. Maybe you don't want to look, Bobby, because Husky Mania was the truth. Rotating the ball, baseline, Ray Allen. Women and children, get out of my way. Allen had 29. UConn throttles Indiana, 86-52. Allen's 29 paced the rout. Brian Evans led all scores, dropping 30. UConn had only faced Indiana once previously, back in 1939, when the Hoosiers jacked up the Huskies 71-38. 56 years later, revenge was sweet.
Back to football. After going undefeated last season, Penn State lost their top offensive players, Kerry Collins, Keyjana Carter, and Kyle Brady, all going to the NFL. Left behind was Bobby Ingram, a 2-time All-American wide receiver who decided to return for his senior year. At 5'10", 187 pounds, Ingram certainly isn't the biggest guy in the world, but just try and stop him. Michigan State would give it a try. Fourth quarter, game tied at 10. Scott Green breaking one tackle, then beautiful spin move, 360. He goes 16 yards for the touchdown. Michigan State leading 17-10. Green, second TD of the game. Penn State next possession. Wally Richardson, the bomb to Bobby Ingram. Touchdown, we're tied at 17. 53-yarder. After a Michigan State field goal, Penn State down 20-17. Richardson to Ingram again. 34 seconds left. It's Richardson to Mike Archie, but it's only a gain of a yard. 13 seconds left, no timeouts remaining. What do? Go to your best player. Penn State. Richardson, Ingram, 2 men there. He slides through, touchdown. That is a game-breaking play. One play to get to the end zone. Ingram does it, 24-20. The Nittany Lions went 73 yards in the final minute and 45 without a timeout. Wally Richardson completed 11 passes on that drive, and at 8-3, Penn State finishes tied for third place in the Big Ten. Syracuse and Miami. Butch Davis trying to keep the Canes' Orange Bowl hopes alive. Second quarter, 10-7 Qs. Donovan McNabb, QB draw. He can dance. He can dance. He's a lean, mean dancing machine. 17-7 Orange. Miami rallies behind Danielle Ferguson taking the pitch. 3-yard run, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns for Fergie in the game. Miami down 17-14. Third quarter, they trail by 10. Ryan Clement hits Psyche Tucker. Miami down by just 3. And the fourth quarter belongs to the Canes. Clement pitching to Darrell McMillan. Wide open is Omar Roll. And he rolls into the end zone. Time for a bath. Miami wins 35-24. And yes, there was a Mack attack in this game. Tremaine Mack, 2 interceptions. He also blocked a field goal as Miami wins a share of the Big East crown and a probable berth in the Orange Bowl. The Canes have won 7 in a row to finish at 8-3. Texas A&M and TCU. A&M on their first possession. Give it to Leland McElroy. Well, that was easy. 3 yards out. A&M leading 7-zip. Their next possession. Give it to Leland McElroy. Get out of his way, and it's pretty easy. A&M rolls 38-6. Leland McElroy, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. A&M will face Texas next week to try and get a share of the Southwest Conference title with Texas in the league's final year of existence. TCU running back Matt Moore is in serious condition after suffering a spinal cord injury before practice on Friday. Moore sustained a dislocated vertebrae that caused initial paralysis from the chest down. Doctors say the dislocation has been fixed without surgery, but an operation will be required to stabilize that area. That surgery expected next week. When SportsCenter continues, it was Olivia Newton-John who sang "Physical, Let's Get Physical." Mark Messier could star in the video. And would the Bucks stop in Cleveland? More NBA highlights when Stu and I return.
Overlooking a detail can ruin any good plan.
What are we going to do now?
Relax. I'm sure there's another gas station down the road.
Sometimes it's just an inconvenience. But when you're planning for your retirement, details become vital. Princeton Securities can help you prepare for a better tomorrow. By calling for your personal retirement planner, we can help you develop an individualized strategy so you can minimize disappointments in the future.
So, honey, what else haven't we planned for?
I'm like some kind of magnet for free stuff. Steak knives, travel alarms, and those stinking football telephones. All crapola. Except what I got just for ordering Prism. A $25 gift certificate at JCPenney. Plus Lindros and the Flyers, Stackhouse and the Sixers, and more movies than I could sneak into in 2 lifetimes. Hey, the same deal's yours if you get on the horn and order Prism today. I ain't never got as much use out of anything I got for free. Well, maybe one thing.
Powers collide in the second annual DirecTV Grade 8. Live from the Palace at Auburn Hills, 8 of the country's best teams will do battle in 2 nights of head-to-head competition. The DirecTV Grade 8. 8 teams, 4 great games, 2 great nights. Action begins Tuesday night, November 28th at 7. Only on ESPN.
Let's slide down the ice. The Maple Leafs and the Blues. Kind of a rough game in St. Louis. Chris Pronger takes out Matt Sundin with a stick. Ow. That can't be good for you. First period, no score. Blues power play. Dale Howardchuk, a slapper. Brett Hull right there for the rebound. Lights the light. Blues up 1-0. Hull's 9th goal of the season. To the third period, Blues up 2-1. Dave Anderchuk with a pass to Larry Murphy. Wristing it home past Grant Fuhr. Game tied at 2 and ends in a 2-2 tie. Brett Hull, the goal and an assist. He also had 12 shots on goal. Leafs snapping an 0-for-21 slump on the power play. This game played before 20,175, the largest crowd of the year in St. Louis. Stu?
The juggernaut that is the Detroit Red Wings was Lindros-sized Friday night. Phillies' Eric Lindros put in 2 goals as the Flyers derailed Detroit 4-1. But as far as the Red Wings are concerned, it was only a small bump in the road. True, a 7-game winning streak was snapped, but what better team than the Rangers to start one anew? At Joe Louis Arena, first period, no score. Nicholas Lindstrom shoots. Igor Larionov, the subtle deflection pass. Mike Richter, 1-zip Detroit. Later in the first, still 1-zip. Greg Johnson quickly past the blue line, cranks it to Richter, stick side. Nothing Mike can do with it. 2-zip Wings. Rangers get physical. Mark Messier, a vicious elbow right to the noggin of Vladimir Konstantinov. Ouch. 2-zip in the third. Detroit goalie Chris Osgood takes over. Alexei Kovalev in on goal. Osgood says no, nada, don't even thinking about it. Sliding save. Osgood's 29 saves were good for his 3rd shutout of the season, taking the lead and keeping the opposition scoreless. It was the 6th blanking of his career. Vancouver and San Jose at the Shark Tank. Chris Terreri in goal for San Jose. Despite a bruised shoulder Wednesday, he did start. Maybe he shouldn't have. 14 seconds into the first, Martin Zelina slaps the puck top shelf past Terreri. 1-zip Canucks. Ray Shepherd came up big for the Sharks. Down 2-1 in the second. The short pass from Craig Janney just turns and flips it past Kirk McLean. Game tied. He had 3 points in the night. Third period, Sharks up 4-2. Shepherd on the breakaway. You're going to have to wrinkle the nylon on that one. Dean Malcock evidently a little bitter about that. He checked Shepherd hard immediately after the score. A brawl ensued. Sharks going to win it 7-2. Their recent acquisitions are paying off big time. Ray Shepherd, 2 goals and 2 assists. Owen Nolan with the goal and an assist. Doug Bodger, 2 assists. Vancouver goalie Kirk McLean stopped just 14 of the 21 shots he faced.
While Dennis Rodman rests his sore calf, the league rebounding crown is up for grabs. Getting up to grab the most so far, a name that may surprise you. Vinny Baker of the Bucks yanking down over 12 boards a game. Baker and the Bucks trying to yank down the Cavs at the Gund Arena in Cleveland. Second quarter, Baker's shot rejected by Joe Courtney. Cavs on the run. Terrell Brandon rewards the big man with a one-handed slam. Cavs up 50-47 at the half. Under 2 minutes left in the fourth, Bucks down 8. Lee Mayberry from way outside hits the 3. Coach Mike Dunleavy says that's the way I used to do it. Final seconds tied at 87. Inbound to Chris Mills. The window. Hisses it in. Good night, game over. Drive home safely. That's the game winner. 89-87. The Cavs have won 4 of 5. They've defeated Milwaukee 7 straight times. Bobby Phills leading Cleveland with 19. Vinny Baker, 18 points and 14 boards for the Bucks. Grizzlies and Heat. That is a Grizzly highlight these days. Facing Alonzo, who's using the left hand more and more over Benoit Benjamin. And this is not a replay. Billy Owens using the left hand. Use both hands, you got a game. Owens had 18 and more from Zoe. The dish to Kevin Willis. Combining on a Twin Towers act in Miami these days. Easy win 111-91. Morning finishes with a season high 30 points. Benoit Benjamin, or as we I like to call him from time to time. Benoit tallied 22 for the Grizzlies, who've now lost a Grizzly 11 in a row. More expansion action. The Hawks over the Raptors, 114-102. Kenny the Snake Norman scored 21. And what a line for Grant Long. How's this? 17 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and 7 steals for the big guy. The Raptors have dropped 2 in a row. Stu?
It was a who's who of the ice skating world. Scotty Hamilton, Oksana Bayul, Victor Petrenko, all paying their respects for a fallen comrade in arms. 4-time world champion and 2-time Olympic figure skating champion Sergei Grinkov was laid to rest in Moscow Saturday as hundreds of admirers said goodbye. The 28-year-old Grinkov collapsed and died of a heart attack on Monday. Grinkov's wife and skating partner Katerina Gordieva led the mourners. A memorial service was held at the rink where he started his career as Grinkov's medals and heaps of flowers were placed before his open coffin. Afterward, the 88 and 94 Olympic champion who won the gold both times with his wife was buried at a nearby cemetery. Said fellow Olympic champion Scotty Hamilton, quote, Sergei was one of my best friends. We all miss him very much. He was like family. He was a great man. Still to come on SportsCenter, some of the best golfers in the world share the experience of pressure, the skins game, where one putt or chip can win you $100,000. Stay right here.
I'll have the chili.
Chili? You should know better.
And I'll have the fries.
Fries? You should know better.
And now I'll have the Mylanta.
Mylanta? You should know better.
You should know. Tums works fast to help knock out heartburn. And while Mylanta liquid uses aluminum and magnesium,
Tums Ultra has calcium, something your body needs anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know. Tums.
Perhaps it's because we offer our business class passengers complimentary limousines, sleeper seats with up to 15 inches of extra legroom, and personal video screens at every seat. Or it may just be our refreshingly different British personality. Whatever the reason, it seems we put a few noses just a bit out of joint. Upper Class by Virgin Atlantic Airways.
Five card draw.
Feel it now, huh, Joe? And watch the bottom of the deck. Hey, Art, did you ever have turf toe?
What the hell is that?
Hey, Art, how about a hip point?
I got no hips.
Art, have you ever had your anterior cruciate removed?
What the hell are you talking about, Joe?
Art, everybody's got a cruciate.
Oh, really? Back when I played, we didn't have any cruciates. Sounds like something to eat.
The Devils and Stars, 2 teams that are having problems on offense. Bobby Holik, backhand shot, hits the post. Devils just can't score. Devils on the power play. Dallas with a steal. Mike Modano lights the light on Martin Brodeur. 1-0 Dallas. Dallas power play. Devils get a shorthanded try. Stephane Richer naturally, boink, hits the post. Devils just cannot score. Dallas, 2-man advantage. Dave Gagne upended, still manages to put the puck in the net as Dallas wins it 2-0. Andy Moog, 26 saves for his 22nd career shutout. Other scores, the Lightning edge the Isles 2-1. Tampa Bay has won 4 in a row. The Bruins and Senators skate to a 3-3 tie. Ottawa rallying from a 2-goal deficit, snapping their 9-game losing streak. Caps over the Whale 4-2. Michael Pavanka set up 3 goals for Washington. Stu?
1995 will go down as a banner year for Corey Pavin, one of the latest in a long line of golfers with the unflattering label, great golfer, but can't win a major. Well, he shed that label this year by taking the U.S. Open. Another first for Pavin, the always entertaining, pressure-cooked skins game, facing the likes of defending champion Tom Watson and Fred Couples in a unique format where putts can be worth big cash. Thank you. U.S. Open, Corey Pavin, on number 5. 4 carryovers made this a $100,000 hole. Pavin, money on the chip. Literally picked up 5 skins, $100 grand. 2 holes later, Pavin smoking the 14-footer. 2 more skins worth $50 grand. This job is looking up. Pavin wins $150,000, ties Fred Couples' first-day record set 2 years ago. Next hole, Peter Jacobson on number 8. The chip from off the green. Fill me up, please. Jacobson, 30 grand. Fred Couples and Tom Watson were shut out. The Gillette Putting Challenge. John Brinson, a retired Army officer from North Carolina, selected from over 500,000 entrants a 10-foot putt for $1 million. Brinson, just lips it left. Hey, he gets a hug from his wife, Margaret, and 50 grand anyway. Here's how the leaderboard looks after the first day. The money increases in the finale on Sunday when $330,000 is up for grabs, including 60 grand on a $30,000 carryover from number 9. Final round of the Australian Open. On the par 3 10th, Australian Peter McWhinney, who has not won on the Australian Tour in 15 years, his tee shot almost just like he planned it, rolling inches from the cup. McWhinney would tap that in for birdie, finishing second place at -8. On the par 4 17th, Greg Norman leading McWhinney by 1 stroke. The aggressive birdie attempt. I hear the wings flapping. It is a birdie. He almost overran the hole. Norman shot a final round 68 to win the tournament at 10 under par. He ends a 5-year drought of winning a golf tournament in Australia. Still, this was his 4th Australian Open title.
Monica Seles pulled out of the Federation Cup matches because of knee and ankle injuries. And when Monica couldn't go, American chances went down with her. The U.S. facing Spain in the Fed Cup finals from Valencia, Spain. Spain beat the U.S. in last year's finals. Chanda Rubin serving to Spain's Conchita Martinez, down 1-0 and 6-5 in the second set. Up in the far court, Rubin will force Martinez to the net. Then the lob. Martinez runs it down, but Chanda's there for the put-away. That made it 6-6 on to the tie-break, but it was all Martinez from there. Strong forehand. Martinez would win 7-5, 7-6. Second match, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario against Mary Jo Fernandez, and too much Arantxa. Takes it on the fly for the winner. Billie Jean and Mary Jo, plenty to talk about as Spain goes up 2 matches to none. When SportsCenter continues, Chris Miller and the Rams move to St. Louis, but Miller isn't happy about his new home turf. We'll have details coming up.
If you got a beard, we've got your number. The adjustable Maverick beard and mustache trimmer with 6 different settings. Man, does this do a number on beards. Maverick from Norelco.
Looking forward to another year of Yuletide wrestling? Try Swivel Straight. Just clamp it, stand it, swivel it straight.
When you're looking for the place with the best for your car, when it's quality and service you need, but where your question gets an answer and your money goes far, well, getting it right is the key. Get to the motivated, celebrated, Federated Auto Parts.
Federated, 2,600 stores offering expert advice and the best in brand name parts.
Federated, gold rated, dedicated, Federated Auto Parts.
The Saints are looking to make a run at the playoffs. Tonight, Jim Everett and company know they'll have their hands full when they take on the surprising Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers? Boy, am I getting old.
Who's on the field? Who's on the shelf this week in the NFL? Jeff Hostetler blasted last week by the Cowboys. His left shoulder too banged up for him to go Monday night for the Raiders. Haas officially listed as doubtful. Jacksonville quarterback Mark Brunell, what a scrambler, but pulls his hammy last week against Tampa Bay. Brunell doubtful for the Jaguar game against the Bengals. And say, here is your personal invitation to join us for a little Sunday night football action. The surprising Carolina Panthers taking on the Saints, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN. Stu?
From the ashes to the throne in only a matter of weeks, the 49ers were all but written off. Young was out, Floyd gone, and they got spanked by the expansion Panthers. Then the Niners dusted off the boys. Elvis went for nearly 400 yards at San Fran, dumped Miami, and all is good. So why is George Seifert angry? Those are among the topics answered in Chris Mortensen's NFL Notebook.
49ers coach George Seifert was not impressed that the Dolphins' Chuck Klingbeil was fined $5 grand for his helmet-to-helmet hit on Elvis Gerback Monday night. Seifert is mad at game officials who aren't enforcing the rules with penalties, and he's still livid that the Colts did not get flagged for drilling Steve Young. So what was 49ers safety Merton Hanks yelling at defensive end Alfred Williams about? Hanks thought Williams had wimped out when he sat down on the field with an injury, causing the team to take a timeout. The injury? A hurt finger. And how cruel is the NFL to coaches who don't live up to hype and expectations? Don Shula left his field Monday night to chants of Jimmy, 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 An angry and frustrated Bobby Ross gathered his players in a special meeting this week to show them who's boss. The Chargers defense has allowed 5 straight 100-yard rushing games, and players have grumbled about new defensive coordinator Dave Adolph's scheme. Ross insists that the players aren't living up to their end of the deal. Now, one Charger taking the heat is veteran defensive end Leslie O'Neal, who openly criticized Adolph's hiring. O'Neal also has been fingered as a clubhouse lawyer who discourages teammates from participating in the team's off-season conditioning program. O'Neal figures rightly that the team won't re-sign him when the season's over. Rams quarterback Chris Miller is upset that the new Trans World Dome AstroTurf feels like sandpaper. Miller still has bad memories of 2 season-ending knee injuries in Atlanta's Georgia Dome. And while the majority of players are overwhelmingly in favor of grass, some of the Raiders' speed burners complain that the soft field last Sunday slowed them down against the Cowboys. Even though it should be noted that the Raiders keep the grass cuts short, real short. For ESPN, I'm Chris Mortensen.
Thanks, Mort. Boomer, TJ, and Sterling will fill you up on these topics Sunday in Game Day. Who will catch Dan Marino's record-breaking toss? Dan Reeves, will he stay or will he go? And Steeler rookie Cordell Stewart, heck, put him at offensive lineman. He might shine there as well. Still coming, St. John's has been the only winner of the 20-year Joe Lapchick tournament. UC Irvine's Raymond's Miglanex and his alley-ooping, looking to change all of that when the center reconnects.
Identify yourself. Do you go for the gusto? Go out on a limb? Go full speed ahead? Go where no man has gone before? Or are you a cornflake eater? Guess not. You go for the adrenaline-pumping, milk-defying taste of Wheaties, made with wall-to-wall, indoor, outdoor, toasty, tasty, 100% whole wheat. A whole mouthful of flavor. It's the whole Megillah. So for taste that goes all out, go for the over-the-top taste of whole wheat Wheaties.
Now, catch the commemorative Dan Marino box.
Office Depot makes my job a lot easier. I order by phone and get next day delivery.
I look up the code numbers in the catalog, phone in the order, and Office Depot takes care of the rest.
Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business.
They've always got what I need in stock, and they always guarantee the lowest price.
I save time. My boss saves money.
Nobody sells more office supplies for less than Office Depot.
First you dream it, then you do it.
That's my style. I dream of quality moves on the court and quality clothes when I'm off. Looking good can be very tough for a guy my size.
But Rochester Big and Tall makes it easy to be a style champion. You want to dream big, you gotta look the part.
Rochester Big and Tall is my MVP. Remember, dream big. It suits you.
Something happens when you read the Wall Street Journal every business day. You start seeing opportunities where you never saw them before. See for yourself. Subscribe now to the Wall Street Journal. The Journal keeps you right at the heart of what's going on in business. Call now for the Journal and get your free guide to planning your financial future. Facts you need to start planning a secure future right now. Get 10 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just $38 and get the guide free.
Call now, 800-544-1000. That's 800-544-1000.
St. John's and UC Irvine in the finals of the Joe Lapchick tournament. Zendon Hamilton for the Red Storm. They were up by 6. The Anteaters, though, gotta love the name, come back thanks to Brian Keefe with a 3. He had 17. And Raymond's Miglanex to Sean Battle, putting on a battle. UC Irvine wins 83-77. I don't know who's playing that music. St. John's first loss in 20 years in the Lapchick tournament. Mississippi State blew out Southeast Louisiana 121-78. Tim Duncan with 21 as Wake Forest defeated Mount St. Mary 75-62. Missouri over Wofford 86-60. It was Stanford over Rice 75-64. Brevin Knight 21 points, 10 assists. And Kwame Evans 24 points as George Washington downed Hampton 80-73. When the journey continues on SportsCenter, the Wildcats of Northwestern are headed on a journey out to Pasadena. We will take a look at the Wildcats' run for the Roses coming up. Also ahead on the show, he's followed in the footsteps of Jim McMahon, Steve Young, and don't forget Robbie Bosco. Steve Sarkisian beats them all.
Where can you let yourself go and have a great meal?
Right here!
At the Court
Jester, Central Jersey's most exciting saloon and eatery, where there's something special going on almost every day of the week. You won't find a better steak. You won't find a better salad bar, fajitas, burritos, and Texas big beers and margarita. Try our prime rib rebellion, only $8.95. And don't forget the Jester's Court upstairs with banquet facilities for up to 150 people. The Court Jester, Main Street in Hightstown.
I'm like some kind of magnet for free stuff. Steak knives, travel alarms, and those stinking football telephones. All crapola. Except what I got just for ordering Prism. A $25 gift certificate to JCPenney. Plus Lindros and the Flyers, Stackhouse and the Sixers, and more movies than I could sneak into in 2 lifetimes. Hey, the same deal's yours if you get on the horn and order Prism today. I ain't never got as much use out of anything I got for free. Well, maybe one thing.
Inside, I mean like be there. In the paint, kissing it off the glass. In the slot, cranking a slap shot. Flat out on a straightaway. It's all about coverage. Like NHL hockey 3 nights a week. 175 NCAA basketball games. And the most complete NASCAR and IndyCar coverage on television. Want to feel it? To get the contact your cable or satellite provider.
Let's check out the WAC. Colorado State and San Diego State. A win would put Colorado State in the Holiday Bowl. Second quarter. The punt to Greg Myers, who fields it. Breaks through the first wave of defenders. Steps out of another tackle and say goodbye. Greg Myers, 85 yards for the touchdown. Myers breaking the WAC all-time punt return record. The old record held by Vi Sikahima. Still in the second. Moses Moreno. You got to follow Moses to Jeremy Calhoun. Colorado State builds an 18-point lead, and they win it 24-13. The Rams thus earn a share of the WAC crown. They will go to the Holiday Bowl for the second straight year. The Rams have won 10 straight WAC road games. BYU and Fresno State. Steve Sarkisian finding Mike Johnston 19 yards. Get the feet down. He does. 7-6 BYU. Third quarter. Cougars trailing 14-10. Sarkisian going deep to Ko Kealaluhi. Sarkisian completed 31 of 34, setting a new NCAA pass percentage record at 91.2%. That's Kaipo McGuire with a catch there, 24-14 BYU. Sarkisian can throw. He can also run, darting in on a 10-yard jaunt. BYU 45-28. And they earn a share of the WAC title. They won't go to the Holiday Bowl, though. Sarkisian throwing for 3, running for 1. Josh Walwork did some work, throwing for 4, ran for 1 as Wyoming walloped UTEP 42-19. Stu?
It was painful, sad, and comical, depending on who you were. In the mid-'80s, Northwestern football lost 34 straight games, 34 before going 10-1 in '95. The Cats hadn't had a winning season since 1971. I tell you what, if their coach Gary Barnett doesn't win Coach of the Year, it'll be a crime. Behind Darnell Autry's 1,675 yards, the Wildcats are going to the Rose Bowl, saying thank you to Michigan all the way there.
Halftime firing to Glenn. It's intercepted by Charles Woodson.
With the ball cradled safely in Charles Woodson's arms, years of futility came to an end. The Northwestern Wildcats are going to the Rose Bowl.
I can't tell you what this means to us and our program, and we want to thank Michigan for playing a great football game.
3-7-1 last year, 2-9 the year before, 3-8 in '92. The list goes on and gets worse and worse. But now the perennial doormats have done the impossible. The working embodiment of the old saying, the outhouse to the penthouse.
We came here and made a promise one day that we'd take the purple to Pasadena, and we're going.
But while one team goes home to make travel plans for Pasadena, another team goes home humbled.
I'm tremendously disappointed. I don't know if I've ever been as disappointed in my life as I am right now.
Something you don't want to think about, like a bad dream. I'm still in shock right now. It's like a bad dream.
Michigan's going to come in and play hard regardless. And I mean, just all records out the door. It's just like whoever wants it the most.
Did they want it more?
All right.
Evidently.
Soft-spoken words from a team that knew no humility earlier in the week.
And I think now the attitude on this team is that we can beat Michigan. Michigan's nobody.
But Michigan has made it a practice of beating OSU when the Rose Bowl was on the line for one of them. The last 6 times it's happened, the Maize and Blue have emerged victorious.
I mean, it hurts when somebody disrespects you, you know what I'm saying? And you always like, if he disrespect me, I'm going to prove to him that what he thinks about me is wrong. And, man, Terry Glenn came out there, said some things that we didn't appreciate. And we showed them that Michigan is not at the bottom, but we are at the top.
When you tell someone in their own stadium that they're nobody, then obviously that helps you emotionally.
Man, it most definitely hurts. All the hard work that we've done just didn't pay off today. Michigan was the better team.
I'm sorry to the seniors. I apologize. I apologize to the fans. I mean, it was a disgrace out there today.
Try to imagine all your dreams, everything you've ever hoped for in your whole life, crushed in about 60 minutes.
Great year anyway. Now that the Cats are going in Pasadena, the next longest Big Ten drought belongs to Minnesota. They haven't been to the Rose Bowl since whipping UCLA 21-3 back in '62.
Well, let's go bowling. The Rose is set, Northwestern and SC. The Cotton set with Colorado and Oregon. Assuming Florida beats Arkansas for the SEC title, the Gators will beat Nebraska in the Fiesta for #1. Looks like Ohio State and Tennessee in the Citrus. When SportsCenter rolls on, we will see who lit it up in the NBA Saturday night.
Rebel, express yourself. Take your creativity to a whole new level.
Express yourself with EOS lenses and the Rebel X from Canon.
Believe it or not, with Hewlett-Packard's real-life imaging system, the print quality of HP's new DeskJet 600 series printers is so good that your work might just take on a life of its own. HP home printers, just what you had in mind.
Daddy, will you read me a story?
Sure, Pumpkin. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess.
A princess?
Who lived in a magical kingdom. One day, she met a guy with a doctor's degree, and they lived happily ever after. Now tell your mother to put you to bed. It's time for NFL Prime Monday. Time for Sunday's highlights. Time for Tirico, Theismann, and Sharp setting up Monday night's game. No princess, no magic kingdom. Just football, football, football.
I hate Mondays.
3D, Great Scott, whatever you want to call him the truth. Orlando's Dennis Scott lays out 5 trays against the Bullets as the Magic smack Washington. D. Scott went for 29. Yo, band, keep grooving as we check out the best of the rest of the NBA.
As SportsCenter heads for home, we'll give you a historic Did You Know from Charlton Heston's alma mater.
Imagine these in
color. Gray. Gray.
Tangerine.
Dark gray bar is sails.
Wedgwood blue and hunter green. You have to imagine it in color.
Sort of like the flower that's in your scarf.
Dark gray bar, projected sails. Everybody follow me?
When you need it in color.
No, I'm sorry.
At Kinko's, you can create it in color so you can show it in color. Kinko's, your branch office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Let's go over this again.
A sparkling ship on crystal waters is coming.
Absolutely gorgeous. It was so much fun.
The perfect lobster is coming.
Our readers, they would do anything for us, any time.
Perfection is coming.
A gift from the captain.
Memories are coming. 7 days in Royal Caribbean's Mexican Riviera are coming. You've got some Royal Caribbean coming.
Rule number 47, charging. Rule number 25, to play the game, use a puck. The Devils face the Rangers tomorrow at 7:30. The NHL rules on ESPN2.
15 more minutes of game day. 15 more minutes of game day. 15 more minutes of game day. 15 more minutes of game day.
Top 10 women in college hoop action. Number 1, Louisiana Tech gets 16 from Vicki Johnson to snuff out number 11, Colorado, 65-61. And here are the rest of your top 10 scores.
Raptors and Hawks. Lenny Wilkins looking for coaching win number 975. Hawks on the run. Little Spud Webb leading the break. Alley-oop to the rookie, Allen Henderson. Henderson with 11 on the night. Brendan Malone. That's what happens when you got an expansion team. Mookie, Grant Long 17 points, 13 boards. Hawks win 114-102.
Earlier in the show, we told you Northwestern is headed back to the Rose Bowl for only the second time in school history.
First time was 1948. Did you know that year Northwestern was the Big Ten representative, even though Michigan actually won the conference title? 1948, the first year the Big Ten instituted the no-repeat rule that no longer exists. Wolverines had been to Pasadena in 1947. Northwestern won the Rose Bowl. Michigan won the national championship.
Coming up next on ESPN Ski World.
That's a wrap on this edition of SportsCenter. I'm Larry Beal.
I'm Stuart Scott. Have a good Sunday.